welcome to this brand new episode of Newsmakers, the show where we bring to you spectacular personalities and their success stories from different walks of life. Because at Newsmakers, we aspire to inspire you. My dear lovely audience, I'm your host Simran, and I'm so very happy to here invite yet another dynamic guest on our sets today. He is an Astro Numerologist, he's also a life coach, and he is an amazing person that we get to know more of him on our sets today. Please allow me to welcome Mr. Sidhharrths S Kumaar on Newsmakers. A very, very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
I've been fumbling before I started this show. There is a very peculiar title that you have given to yourself. We would like you to tell the audience before we start the show.
Sure. So see, I combined all my research and experiences into how to make the person happy. With happiness is something that gets backtracked in the journey of life, and we feel why it matters. It matters because this is what we determine how we are helpful in our life. A happy mind is more potent than a normal mind, and this is why I envisioned all my research and experiences under a brand called Numerology, and I designate myself as Chief Happiness Officer so that I can infuse a happiness culture at my own workplace as well. That what I practice should be implemented at my workplace, and then taking it ahead to other workplaces and transforming them as a happy place.
Wow. So audience, now that you know, it is going to be a very, very happy episode because we have a Chief Happiness Officer of Numerology with us. So I would like to begin with this very, very important question. You are an astrologer, but you must have started your life from somewhere, and now you've reached to this point in your life and in your career. Please tell us about your journey.
Sure. So my journey is a track which combines the modernities as well as our traditional intellectual heritage. This is what I address it at. I started my journey of learning at the age of 6.
Okay.
And since it was into generational hierarchy structure, I started with Samudrik Shashtra, which is body and face reading, followed with astrology, numerology, and so on. In my journey, I started also learning the other modern sciences as well. I'm a pharma graduate. So the journey of both education traveled in parallel. And then I worked with a consulting companies for around a decade, working with brand strategy and management consulting in biopharma. In the parallel, my journey of astrology and numerology was of more of a research base. So starting at the age of 6, I spent around 1.5 decade in completely in hibernation mode, where even the person sitting beside me may not know that I'm into an astrology. Okay. I wanted it to be wrapped up until a complete research or a setup is build it out, so we are prepared enough to give a result which is audience oriented and which is more of a effective in nature as per the contemporary world. In 2013, I decided that now this is the time to use this research in the real life. Started with friends, families, the referrals, word of mouth for the next 5 years, because what you are advising should also come into real life into picture. If I advise someone that you will go somewhere place X, you do this, you will happen, that should also happen. So next 5 years I have spent in judging how my results are getting delivered in real time action, in prospective manner. In 2018, I took this brand online, and then there on the Numerology got brand up as a company. We came into 2022. But it was more of a side hustle, and when our revenue numbers started growing it out, we decided it's a high time to bring it under one umbrella and go for a more, more significant manner to impact the human lives.
Wonderful. Now here you're saying that you thought of doing something where it could impact the human life. You call astrology as an intellectual, sorry. Now when you say that to impact a human life, you call astrology as an intellectual heritage of Bharat. Now this is another term that you have given to astrology. Now how do you integrate astrology and life coaching, that you're also a life coach? How do you integrate both of these sciences?
Definitely. Coming on that, as a country, as a culture, every culture has two parts. One, that is cultural heritage that we all have got.
Right.
Second is the intellectual heritage in the terms of the knowledge, the skill manner that you develop. As a land, our country, Bharat, or we call India, is grown with traditional intellectual heritages which need to be preserved as well as innovated to make it contemporary. So see, every science need evolution over a period of time.
Correct.
And science is always accurate. So whether it's astrology, it's Ayurveda, it's yoga, it's meditation, or it's a aromatherapy, and we have artisanals. So we have a vast spectrum of intellectual heritages, right from a sari making to a life enhancement. And yoga is a great example where we have seen yoga getting a lot of evolution happenings, meditation getting lot of global attention, lot of clinical evidences coming, and I believe this is the right time for Ayurveda and astrology to go on a global scale and have that evidence on bringing that intellectual heritage. Now coming how to integrate life coaching and astrology. We define, or say rather the science defines, a person is a mixture of three things: mind, body and soul.
Correct.
And this is what is needed. When we think of our life, we have seen an ad on a TV or a YouTube program or a Facebook ad, we decided we will copy it in our life. What if it doesn't suit me? What if it doesn't matter that how it is related to me? And this is where the personalization come into picture. So we leverage astrology and numerology, that is your date of birth and name, to decipher your mind, body and soul, to personalize your lifestyle.
Okay.
Starting from the what you eat, to how you take a bath, to from your haircut, to the colors you wear. Everything can be customized based on the astrology, from your yoga to your meditations to everything you can imagine it of can be customized.
Wow, this is such a great news. And my dear audience, here you see that here we have somebody sitting next to me here, a person who can absolutely curate your lifestyle depending on how you take a bath, how you eat, and what are your patterns, and that's how astrology can do wonders. And then it can also help you in your emotional well-being. This is something very, very good that I'm getting to hear, and in the coming interview we'll get to know more. Now here, when you say this, astrology, you must have had a lot of clients that you work with. So how has astrology, your way of astrology, has helped businesses? Do you have an example to share?
Certainly. So see, astrology is something which has existed for lakhs of years, and we humans have lived for around 100 or 200 years, a single person. So definitely science is accurate, it need to be contemporary made. Just to put a very connecting example, if we look at say all the media companies of India at this point of time, you will not find a black coloring logo. It's very rare to find a black color logo in media segment. And why not media? You go to IT as well. So if the IT company is not related to say automobile or logistics or a construction, you're primarily going to see a bias non-black logo. Why so? And whether it's a MACD or a KFC or say a Live Mint or any other you go to, they are the colors which attract. So colors influences our influences. Second thing is the shapes, the structures. Every shape correlate to a particular element, whether it's a circle, it's a square, it's a rectangle, whether it's a triangle. So everything has got an identity. So virtually astrology and numerology is helping you to curate your brand identity, starting from the shape, starting from to color, to when we move towards the structures and so on. And not only your identity, also in your launch dates. I always believe on one thing, it is always a great idea to learn from others' experiences. Bollywood as an industry is a big industry, and they have actually garnered a significant gain by customizing their launch dates. Okay, when to launch a movie, when to name a movie, and which date to launch a trailer, a teasers and so on. They have experimented and leveraged this science for last 10 or 15 odd years. So this is the high time for other industries to learn. Last but not least, I always define that astrology or numerology is a catalyst which can accelerate your growth journey in any business you are.
Now you're talking about that how businesses can grow in a very, very small, such minuscule thing that he's told us as to how to have the color thing, the shape, and literally very, very small things that you're talking for a business owner to think about before they start their work or maybe design their logo. Now you see, the astrology is a vast field. It's do you see it's growing in India, although it is a heritage for us. India is rich in culture, so astrology is one of the part which is a growing industry. But what do you see? Is it growing, or is it like there's a lot coming in?
So see, there are two parts of it. First of all, we need to understand that astrology is something which was not categorized or recognized as an industry. This recognition is something which has started to come in last 2 to 3 years. And for the time being, if I go from my perspective, because I come from a background of a consulting and an astrologer, so I do understand the business side as well as the astrology. I see this industry as a growing, and not only growing, growing significantly. This is something which I am always saying at most of the interactions of late. Ki the next decade is of India. But just I humbly add to this, the next decade will be of Indian intellectual or the Bharat intellectual heritages, be it Ayurveda or astrology. If I moreover come to the astrology as a segment, when the industry is unorganized, it is always difficult to pinpoint a number. Astrology in itself includes many things. For example, your consultations, whether you're advising people or businesses. This is one spectrum. Second thing is that based on those recommendations, there are product or services sell, starting from a simple gemstones to a crystals, or to a say a spiritual tour or a puja. So this is another segment of your faith, including that. Second thing, astrology not only helps you in the consultation and advisory. There are other thing, when there are resources, when there is an industry which is growing, you will need people to work. Then there come skill development.
Yes.
I do agree there are central Sanskrit universities and other universities, but still there are private trainers, experts who are mentoring, and that learning segment in itself is a very broader area to look for. Last but not least, this is something which is not very common in India at this point of time, but this is something I personally envision it will come in India, say in next couple of years. That is your aura economy. Aura economy means you're customizing your lifestyle products, be it a beauty product or your food habits, based on your astrological parameters that you are personalized. And this is something which is getting a significant traction in US and the other parts of globe. This is something which is yet to come in India. If I have to combine everything together and put a number to it, I will put a $100 billion USD industry in India at this point of time. This may sound a bit on the higher end to many people. The simple reason is that when we think of an industry, we'll have to think of every spectrum, with be it say consultations, be it products, be it testing. And I will just put an example why this number is so interesting. Recently a transaction happened where a private equity firm has acquired a gemstone testing laboratory for around for a big chunk of money, and that is something very predominant to see in an industry player which is doing a gemstone testing only, to getting acquired for a very small pie. Second thing is that astrology is not only helping in itself, but also giving a lot of business to other areas like digital marketing, public relations, web developments. There are big logistic companies. So they are a huge chunk of a business givers as well. And another thing we need to understand over here is that astrology is a part which is helping you to enhance the life. So I consider it as a life support services, which is helping you to make the life better, proactively and in personalized manner. And when I think of this as a life support services, the astrology is going to gain a significant traction of business from the well-being industry. If I go with Global Wellness Institute, they peg the market to be around $6 trillion of well-being globally. India is something around 600 or 700 billion dollars as of 2022 and growing in 2 digits. So this astrology eventually evolve itself in contemporary world and will take its pie from this wellness market, be it say a mental wellness market, or be it from your wellness tourism space, or be it from your say a traditional and complementary medicine. So this is going to gain a market share from all these 3 areas of wellness economy, and this is something which is going to really grow significantly. And in next say 1 to 2 years, or if I say around half a decade, around 5 years, we are going to see at least multiple unicorns emerging from astrology and spirituality space that will not only grow in India, but that will significantly tap the across border trade as well.
Now here we get to know from Mr. Sidhharth Kumar that how astrology is going to grow in many folds in the coming decades that you've been telling us, and we also get to hear that our spiritual leaders will also be growing. Now that we were so fortunate to see this a very grand thing happening on the 22nd of January. As an astrologer, it's a very important question for you that we had Ayodhya Ram Lala's Murti Stapna happened. Now this is an out of league question which I'm going to ask you now. As an astrologer, how was your experience the other day? What did you do as to when you welcomed Ramji on that day?
Okay, so there are multiple parts to it. Personally, it was a day of bit of emotion. Why I call it emotion? This is something my forefathers has been part of it since the beginning of the movement and the car seva and all. So for personally, it was a emotional home calling moment, something which of a heritage is getting revitalized, and we are going to witness it out. And I always call it, we were fortunate enough to witness that moment. Second thing, that every culture is defined by its cultural identity. You can never distance yourself or separate out yourself from your cultural identity. Cultural identity virtually shapes us. If something is not as per the contemporary world, we should not discard it. Rather, we should think how we can make it better and evolve it out. Coming to what I did on the very day, it was a very interesting thing to do. So personally, I started my day with a couple of live shows. I was scheduled to be a panelist. So,
wow.
the day started with the early morning, started with that, with after my normal puja and ritual, and then moved to my own puja of Ram, and then watching the show on the television. So this was a complete day, and after the session ended, again couple of live shows and telecasts which were to be done.
So you've been all in all on the live shows, and you were also enjoying the limelight with Ramji. So wonderful to hear that, Mr. Kumar. Now I want to move on to the exact fact that, like, when you say astrology is working on and helping a lot of people in their emotional well-being also. Now, do you have any example of such, that how have you helped people in the emotional and physical and mental health? Have you helped someone through it? Do you have an example to share?
So certainly, coming to on that, so see, the first thing is that we have, as I was talking about the previously, astrology or numerology is a tool which is going to help you to personalize your things, as simple as it is. So for example, for my emotional well-being or a physical well-being, first thing is that astrology is not a treatment. So this is something which is going to be preventive in nature. If you are someone, you are already facing a mental issues, or you are facing any kind of issues, you need to go to a medicine practitioner, whether it's any practitioner you go with. Astrology comes into picture when it is proactive care, something we have to proactively manage and balance. Now coming how to manage it. Astrology not only helps you, but also helps you in customizing your subconscious thought pattern. So our human mind can be segregated into conscious and subconscious mind. So what we think makes us. And
exactly.
Our Ayurveda says what we eat makes our thought.
Yes.
So virtually, and then what should you eat? You should eat something which is decided by your prakriti of your body, and that prakriti, that is your body, the physical element. Now comes the color we wear. So if I go with the modern science, psychology calls our color influences us. I was mentioning, say for example, if you go to any maternity hospital in India, you will always find the pinkish colors and so on. However, when you go to a normal hospital, you will see a green color. When you go to say a vibrant place or a club, you will always find that vibrant colors which gives you that enthusiasm. Okay. So it's a color which influences our mood. Again, your mind getting customized based on that. So everything is surrounded in this theory of 5 elements, that Panch Mahabhut that we address. And astrology comes as a tool to help you to identify yourself. So it is virtually, I call astrology is a mirror which helps you to know yourself better, so you can make yourself further much better.
Oh, wonderful. What a great thing that we got to know that astrology is a mirror which helps you to know yourself better and also help you to better yourself more in the coming future.
Very true.
Now, we know that you are a very innovative person and that you have come up with a lot of innovations in your science, like your practice astrology. Now, one thing that we always knew is astrology is spirituality, that you give mantras and stuff, but then you have a very, very innovative ideas and things that's coming up. Please do share with us.
So see, coming to that, definitely there is no second thought that astrology has been synonymous towards spirituality. Mantras and other parameters, like whether it's a puja or rituals or our gemstones and crystals, has always been there. So they are the gifts of nature. But we will also have to understand in this contemporary world, the number of people who do have the time or have that awareness to be able to devote themselves to those practices are also getting reduced. This means, as a practitioner, the moral and ethical responsibility come on us ki how we can make it accessible for the people. If we have a beauty of a science and it is not accessible to the people, that means there's something need to be innovated. So coming to my innovations, there are 2 things of innovation. The first thing is that I have combined everything into a program called Life Accelerator Program, abbreviated as LAP.
Okay.
So it is inspired from the lap of a mother. So we want to give you the very same comfort which a baby enjoys in the lap of a mother. So this is a program which is customized based on Ayurveda, astrology and psychology to help you to personalize your life practices. Now coming to the couple of innovations, or better say a couple of things which I have, which are the hero services which I sell, a better term to use. The first thing which correlates to specifically with women is the haircuts.
Okay.
Haircut is something which every woman takes as and when they feel, but their hair can also influence their aura, overall their own energy. So there's a concept known as moon phase haircut or lunar phase haircutting. So customizing your haircut pattern depending upon the phases of moon to bring in certain kind of emotional changes within you.
Okay.
So this is a very simple practice. So what I have done over here is that I have combined this moon phase with your date of birth and name to bring it a better haircut. So this is one of my highest selling services right now, which sells heavily, especially in the segment of this. And there are many say Hollywood stars which goes for that. There are many couple of Bollywood celebrities as well who go for it. I can't name it, but I do enjoy their clientele. So there are many people. So this is one thing. Second thing is that now comes your subconscious reprogramming. So so it is easy to learn something, but it is very tough to unlearn. So this is where again I come into picture that how I can combine your music or your sound therapy or a color therapy or a light therapy, customized based on your date of birth and name, to help you to reprogram your subconscious mind to reach to a positive mindset. So this is the second innovation we have bring. So virtually everything revolves around your personalization, ki how these tools can be used to personalize not only for your personal problems but also for your business problems. So third area where I work significantly is, okay, I come from a background of a consulting company. So I have been to a pure biopharma strategy consulting for around a decade, advising global biopharma companies on what to make, what not to make. So I virtually combine the knowledge of both the world together.
Wow.
So third thing which I have done over here is that we are helping angel investors, and right now we don't have VCs at the moment in our client, but we have angel investors. We help them to decide which company to invest, when to invest, and when to exit. Not only from his chart perspective, but also from the perspective of how the overall industry is going to perform, whether that parameters support. So what we are trying to advocate over here is that in addition to all the knowledges and the parameters you use, combine an astrological parameter, and that gives you an additional wings which can hedge your risks. And hedging a risk in an investment deal where our chances of failures are very high, it gives you an edge, and I have delivered whatever we have promised until now.
Wow, I'm so delighted to hear that somebody, I mean, here we have Mr. Sidhharrth S Kumaar sitting next to us, and he's come up with such great innovations. Now, my dear women friends, if you have to go for a haircut and you really want to see if that suits your mindset also, you have to contact Mr. Sidhharth Kumaar, and he's going to just let you know which is the right time for you to have your haircut done. And these are very, very good things that I get to hear, that you also help people with their business and how to invest. Now, amazing things that we are getting to know in this interview. Now, moving further, I'd also heard about the aura economy. Now, this is a very, very different term to me. For me, I don't know about it. Please tell us and the audience in detail, what is aura economy all about?
Very well said. So aura economy is something I was mentioning while I was market sizing the industry. So this is something where astrology is going to grow significantly. So aura economy is something which means personalizing your products, especially your lifestyle products, based on your aura. So let us first try to understand what is aura. We meet someone, we feel happy. We meet someone, we feel sad. The person may not have said anything to me.
Correct.
We meet our crushes, our celebrities, the fan we feel elated what we have got today.
Yes.
This is the aura of that person that influences us. We go to a bar, we go to a disc, we go to a place where the happenings happen, we feel happy. We go to a crematorium, we feel sad, but nothing has happened. So this means the aura is something which is an individual layer of affection, a layer of impact in both living and non-living things, which can impact our thoughts. As well as us. So this is the whole concepts come into picture. So aura economy means customized. So for example, I will quote an example, Kate Moss. So Kate Moss has been of late recommending a mist specifically, which is designed based on aura. In UK, there are many studios which help you to get your aura photographed, so that you can have a photograph where your auras are getting reflected and you can take an action based on that. So aura economy is something that is triggered by your mind, body and soul. And the best way to read your mind, body and soul is the astrology and numerology, and then your personalization product. So whether it's your say your beauty products, your face care, to everything. And in fact, we at this point of time we are also in a very aggressive stage of discussion to come with our own chain of beauty care.
Oh.
So we are coming with our own say lipsticks and other our face care products, which are going to be more designed based on your aura, that what suits you, what doesn't suit you. As simple as it could be based on your sun sign or a moon sign, or as simple as it can be custom curated for you.
Wow.
So for example, there are people who go for a custom curation, and it's going to be a very booming thing in next couple of years.
Now, I would like to here mention a very, very important thing is that you have a very positive aura and here you've put smile on my face as well, and I'm sure my audience must be smiling by now because they get to know that they are going to be coming up with a product which will suit your aura. That's very, very important again to get to hear that, you know, something which is going to be make me more positive. And do you also get to see people and get to know their aura? Do you see my aura here?
So that's a very interesting thing. So being an astrologer, definitely before meeting the person, I can understand the aura of a person, that how the person is going to respond. So there are a couple of things. Whether say for example, there are philosophies known as Prashna Kundli. The moment you are calling me, that can give a lot of clue about you that. Second, your mobile number, the number you are calling for, can give a lot of inputs about what the person is going to be, what the person is not going to be. And these are the two pure astrological methods. And then comes your voice. So the pattern you are speaking to, the pattern you are putting, reveals you before I meet you people.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's definitely can great be done.
So I really hope and I cross fingers that I had a good aura on you. And here, this is the good news. So here, how they get to know is the different ways of your number, the way you speak, and that's very common for all of us also. How we actually deal with people tells a lot about us.
True.
Now, we know that you are the youngest numerologist to be on a TED Talk and on Josh Talk, and you're also an author. You are also you've been writing a lot of columns for different newspapers. Now, doing so much, how do you manage your life?
This is an interesting point. So see, everything is part of life. I always believe if something is monotonous, either automate it or delegate it. So I am a very firm believer of this concept. A human being has a limited time, and if I have a limited resource, I should use to something which needs me more, and I can maximize that. So the complete ecosystem goes through a lot of automation systems which I have in place, which helps me to save my time, as well as there are many resources who works in support of that. And this is something which I like to really mention it out. As a workplace, we are one of the finest places to work for, because we have been a remote workplace since many years. I have been into this practice because what I am in the public is something which is hugely supported by the backbone of the complete ecosystem. There are content writers, there are marketers, there are designers who put a lot of effort on that. Definitely they get time to speak to me, they get my audio note, and it's everything of the complete teamwork. So as a workplace also, we are a fantastic workplace.
Wow.
Complete 4-day work culture. This is something we have been an advocate for last 2 years or so. We have a complete 4-day work culture at our place. You choose your time, you choose your place, wherever you work, doesn't matter, work should get done, as simple as it is. So this is something we have been an advocate of. Now coming, my life is something which will be managed just because of support of the team. And the most important, the support of my wife, who takes care of every operational aspects, manage the complete teams and logistics, and I focuses more on research, executing the things and all. So it's a more of a teamwork that is helping me, and at one point of time you have to start delegating your things. You cannot do everything on your own. That is something we have to be part of it.
That's why we call it teamwork makes your dream work.
Right, very true.
Yeah. So here, it's going to be my last question, and I would like to have an advice from you, from a horse's mouth here, that whoever is watching you right now, there are a lot of people who are watching you and want to be successful as you are. What is your success mantra? Please share with everyone.
So see, success mantra is something which is which I always echo as personal, is that never copy anyone. If you start copying anyone, you will become a copy virgin, and copycats are never valued. They are always undervalued. They will always remain undervalued. So most important is that you should identify yourself, ki who I am, and astrology can be a great tool to help you, and then be yourself.
Wow.
Whatever you are, identify self and be you. You need to customize and personalize every pattern, and the success is yours.
So what a wonderful thought process that we got to hear, and what a great advice that we got to know from Mr. Kumar. Just be yourself and the world is going to be at your feet. Thank you so much, Mr. Kumar, for being on our show.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure, absolutely, interacting with you and the audience. So great. Thank you so much.
So thank you, audience. I'm sure you would have loved this episode, and if yes, you've had, then please do let us know. And if you think that you too have a story to share, our email is reflecting here. I will surely be connecting with you. So here's Simran signing off with the promise that I will be back soon. Till then, stay positive.